Welcome, Fear Fiends, to the main event. The arena is buzzing, the air is thick with anticipation, and the tale of the tape is ready to be unspooled. Today, we're pitting the biological bloodsuckers against each other in a death match of cinematic proportions. Who stands at the pinnacle of the pyramid of predation? Let's begin the countdown at number 10. In the number 10 spot, we have the original walking plague. Give it up for the monstrous, vermin-commanding Count from Nosferatu the Vampire.
Subject Orlok presents a fascinating case study in viral vectoring. His primary strength and the reason for his inclusion is his role as an apex pathogen. He is not a hunter but a plague bearer with a high infection proliferation score due to his ability to control and mobilize a legion of rats. However, his physical metrics are statistically underwhelming. His pursuit speed is negligible and his durability rating is lower than many of his counterparts, as he is vulnerable to the classic weaknesses of sunlight and impalement. He is ranked at this position not for his individual prowess, but for his capacity for mass-scale biological terror.
Coming in at number 9, we have the vampires of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. They may be a biological parasite, but they've certainly got some demonic flair.
The vampires of the Buffyverse demonstrate a dual-nature pathology. Doctor. Their key strengths lie in a combination of biological enhancements and demonic essence. They possess a high strength-to-mass ratio and impressive regenerative factor, capable of healing from significant trauma in seconds. Their ability to switch between human and demonic appearances provides a high stealth and assimilation score. However, their vulnerability index remains statistically high. The primary biological weakness is their susceptibility to sunlight and fire, resulting in a high termination probability upon exposure. Furthermore, the stake-through-the-heart termination method is a significant operational liability.
At number 8, we have the vampires from the Hunger. Not the most powerful, but certainly the most elegant of predators. What's their deal, Boris?
Subject Miriam Blaylock and her lineage are a unique subspecies. Doctor. Their primary survival metric is based on longevity and psychological manipulation rather than brute force. They are biologically immortal with a sustained aging negation factor as long as they consume blood. Their unique seduction and control protocol allows them to incapacitate prey with a high subservience induction score. However, their physical combat prowess is statistically low with no significant superhuman strength or speed. This places them at a disadvantage in direct confrontation, but their ability to survive and influence across centuries gives them a unique, insidious position on the scale.
Sliding into the number 7 spot are the vampiric entities of Skyrim, a force to be reckoned with in the frozen wastes.
The sanguinaire vampire strain presents an adaptable, if a high-risk, biological profile. Their primary strength is their high stat enhancement quotient, providing a significant boost to strength, speed, and illusionary capabilities. The Vampire Lord mutation further increases their threat profile, granting a unique form and additional abilities. However, their operational vulnerability is directly correlated with their state of hunger. An unfed vampire has a high daytime exposure probability due to an extreme weakness to sunlight, which results in a significant attribute degradation and a high incineration risk. This dependency on blood and daytime vulnerability keeps their rating below more self-sufficient counterparts.
Halfway through our list at number 6, we have the vampires of Daybreakers, a society of the undead, but with a fatal flaw.
The Daybreaker strain represents a fascinating case of societal evolution. Doctor. Their main strength is their high numerical and technological advantage. As the dominant species, they have developed infrastructure, such as armored vehicles and subterranean travel, to mitigate their biological weaknesses. They are incredibly strong and agile with a high individual force multiplier. However, their resource dependency index is statistically critical. Their entire civilization is dependent on the dwindling supply of human blood. A lack of this resource triggers a rapid mutation degradation into a more primitive and mindless form, which has an extremely high self-destruction factor and threatens their entire existence. Their ultimate weakness is not an enemy, but the flaw in their own ecosystem.
At number 5, we've got the Blade Bio-Vampires, the most organized and, dare I say, dapper of the bunch.
The Bio-Vampires of the Blade universe demonstrate a high societal cohesion rating, making them a more formidable threat than most individual creatures. Their ability to pass as human, infiltrate high-level organizations, and operate with a unified, strategic objective gives them a high threat level. Their biological strengths include enhanced durability and strength, with a high resistance to conventional ballistics score. Their primary weaknesses, however, are statistically consistent. They are vulnerable to silver, garlic, and UV radiation, which are all reliable termination methods. Their dependence on a complex social structure means they can be disrupted from the top down, a significant strategic weakness when facing a skilled hunter.
In the 4th position, we find the Dark Seekers from I Am Legend. They are more than just a rabid menace, they are a society with a surprising amount of cunning.
The Dark Seekers are an intriguing blend of biological mutation and pack-based intelligence. Doctor. Their threat matrix is defined by a high hunter-gatherer metric. They exhibit enhanced physical attributes, including a high pursuit speed and a strength coefficient, but their true strength lies in their ability to operate as a coordinated, pack-based unit with a high tactical planning index that is statistically superior to most biological threats. However, their operational hours are critically limited to nighttime, making them completely vulnerable during the day. This daytime-induced incapacitation is their most significant tactical weakness and the only reliable neutralization method on a large scale.
Entering the top 3, we have the ferocious alpha vampires from 30 Days of Night. They don't mess around, do they, Boris?
Subject Marlowe and his coven are a prime example of a specialized predator with a near-perfect, adaptation to environment score. Their strengths include immense physical power, a high durability and resistance rating to small arms fire, and a highly organized social hierarchy. Their coordinated hunting protocol makes them a hyper-efficient force of destruction. They've effectively eliminated most of their weaknesses by choosing a specific operational zone where sunlight is absent for a month. This strategic territorial dominance makes them a nearly unstoppable force within their chosen domain. Their only definitive weakness is decapitation, which has a 100% termination efficacy. Their placement is a direct result of their combination of brute force, cunning, and environmental exploitation.
The number 2 spot goes to the horrifying Reapers from Blade 2. They make even other vampires shiver in their boots.
The Reapers are a highly evolved biological mutation with a high predator threat score. They are the evolutionary equivalent of an invasive species, with an insatiable hunger that leads them to prey on both humans and traditional vampires, making them an unprecedented threat. Their biological strengths are significant. They are faster, stronger, and more resilient than their vampire predecessors. They are also statistically immune to traditional anti-vampire measures such as silver and garlic. Their only known biological weakness is the unique design of their internal anatomy, which requires a specialized cardiac termination protocol. However, their infection spread is exponential, and their threat proliferation rate is high enough to pose an existential risk to multiple species, justifying their high ranking.
And now for the main event, the champion of the biological vampires, the scariest bug-eyed beast of them all. Give it up for the Strigoi from the Strain.
The Strigoi represent the pinnacle of biological horror due to their high physiological efficiency and mass propagation metrics. Their core strength is their highly effective parasitic vector, a worm-like organism that completely rewrites the host's biology, eliminating the need for heartbeat, breathing, or other traditional life indicators. This makes them immune to many forms of conventional attacks. Their threat level is further compounded by the existence of the Master, a strategic alpha who can command and orchestrate the horde, giving them a high centralized control factor. Their primary weaknesses are a high UV radiation vulnerability and a statistically significant aversion to silver. Despite these vulnerabilities, their single-minded pursuit, hive-mind intelligence, and near-perfect biological efficiency make them the hardest of the bio-vampiric strains. They are not simply monsters, Doctor, but a self-replicating single-organism apocalypse.